Hello, welcome back, Paragon community. I'm here with Zeke. Wait, Zeke, how are you here if you were just?
I actually again. I'm sitting in the back of the room, man. I'm just like.
I see.
I just have to re-record these.
I understand.
Yeah,
I see.
Live.
Okay, I get it.
Yeah.
So I'm here with Zeke. We're gonna be cast. So the casters become the casted. Notch and Shane.
I know.
It down.
Did you spoil the fun about what this match was?
I mean, that's what the match is.
But you did tell them what specifically, what regions might be playing in this specific game.
I was gonna leave the surprise up to you.
Oh, for me?
Yeah, of course.
Oh my gosh. Well, guys, right now downstairs we have a very special game of NA versus EU.
Yes.
Which is kind of a big deal.
Oh no, it is. I mean, it's across multiple games, like multiple titles. Like, this
Yep.
is a
This
thing.
is like a really big deal because I mean the winner of this is going to have bragging rights, especially the Paragon event. Like our public. I mean, what's going to happen?
I think it's honestly just going to be a slobber knocker, if I had to use like a term, right?
Slobber knocker.
That's a term.
That's a good one. That's a good one.
That's the thing people say.
Yeah.
So we're gonna have the matchup here. I'll go ahead and read the orange team here. It's gonna be, and this is gonna be a European team. This is a RGS Ace or RG Sache, of course. Big Russ, Ruricon, Jamie Shepard from Reddit, and Beanhead09 from the last match. If you want to read the blue team, the US team.
I got that blue team. Another Notch, which I mean is one of the two casters that were just left. Shane Lynch being the second, Black Hokage, Mud, and Drew Grimy, which by the way played an insane howitzer. So.
Oh no, I'm definitely excited for this match.
Yeah.
Like this should, and we have the
there
team
he is.
of the. There he is, another Notch, Josh, Pervert Hero Steel, my man. He understands. He knows. Fighter, there he is. Look at him.
Look at him, and Shane to his left.
What a man. Yeah, there you go. Like they have that synergy sitting next to each other. They're going to be channeling off each other in that game. You know that.
I think so. I think they're definitely going to be bouncing hype back and forth.
Right.
Really just being those pillars. There's
Shane Lynch. There he is, the man. Got that player card. Preferred hero Feng Mao. That's actually interesting. I did not know that.
Yeah, Feng Mao, man. He talks about Feng Mao.
Oh, the Feng Miao. That's right. I remember that. So Florida, USA, fighter.
Yep.
Yeah, and I mean, honestly, I think it's going to be interesting to see what they can pull out. Like maybe what they've taken away from some of these Paragon Masters, the Agora Rising. Maybe they try some big plays.
Ooh, they might.
Right?
Be like, hey, remember that Masters when these two heroes comboed really hard
Yeah,
together?
no, I
might do that.
I think that's honestly what we're going to be looking for here. Like seeing if they can pull out any awesome team compositions, anything like that. And this is going to be a good match. And also, we're still giving away all those prizes. You know,
I know.
Link in your Epic account, and your Twitch account, and we actually also have a hashtag event that is happening next week. That will have we'll have 2 epic rare cards: Empyrean Mask, which is a toggle, you increase damage, resist, and mana regen, and Stab Link, which you spend 20% of your health to blink away. So if you for the next week, if you're streaming or you're watching streams with hashtag Epic Rare Link or hashtag Epic Rare Mask, you'll be able to vote for those specific cards. We have a blog up on it now, paragon.com/blog. Check it out. So we're going to be hopping into match here. We actually have a challenge, Zeke, if you want to go ahead and tell me what that is.
The last game of the day, NA versus you guys. Who will respawn more, Shane or Notch? Hashtag Shane, hashtag Notch.
There are really no losers with this question. Oh, there he is. And there's the beautiful man himself, Shane.
They're so cute.
I mean, I mean, who looks like they're going to respawn more, right?
Oh, man, dude. I don't know.
I'm going to say Shane. I'm going to say hashtag Shane.
Shane, I feel, is a little more reckless in his play.
I feel like in a match, like as a steal, like, and I'm hoping Notch channels that steal.
I hope so too.
I hope that he can really just tank his way to a 0-death game.
That's a big. I'm
gonna put that on his shoulders. I'm gonna put that. I believe that he can follow through on that.
We believe
I believe in him all the way.
Believe in you.
But yeah, I think I'm feeling hashtag Shane on the respawning more. I'm gonna be honest with you.
I'm gonna have to say hashtag Shane as well. But
all right,
guys,
that's good.
Don't forget.
You vote. You tell us.
You have to vote.
But
all on you guys.
Yeah, and you have that account linked. Hang out in chat. Watch the stream. You get some awesome stuff in game. No, Steve Stuber will not show up at your door. That was not true. Shane.
He is going to show up
as delighted as I would be to have Steve just show up to my door and be like, "Hey, what's up? Yeah, here's some rep.
Come in, Steve.
Yeah.
Here's this black Skeeto. What is it? The ruby.
The ruby. The onyx. There you go,
Onyx.
There you go, buddy.
Ruby, Scarab. There it is. Just there for you. The community. Yeah.
No, but I definitely think that this is going to be the match, like the EU versus NA. Honestly, what I'm interested to see if they take stuff from their regions.
Ooh.
Like, are we going to see some sick Decker play on the EU side, throwing back to the Vos days?
Dude, that was. I mean, I remember those. Those were like pretty intense days.
And
I mean, they took games off triangle formations with just a Decker.
Yeah, and we're gonna honestly look to Shane and Notch to see if they can really be that leadership that Team USA may need.
Team USA.
I think it's fitting really that if I really hope they do play Steel and Fang Mount, because then it would allow our player cards to be
Yeah, a little more accurate.
A little more accurate. So we are actually
milestone goal.
Yeah, milestone goal at next roll. We're gonna get if we can get to 5.5K viewers, we can get to 11. We're at 10 rolls right now. Next roll at 5.5K. So we get there. That milestone.
It's huge.
That's stone of miles.
It makes me sad that I can't participate because I really want. I want to just take all these things. I want this. I want the skins.
I know, Zeke.
I know. Sad, but it's all about you guys today. So don't forget
It's
to
all
vote.
about all of us.
It's all about all of us.
We're all the Paragon community.
We're all the Paragon community.
We are Paragon now.
We are Paragon. I think we're ready to take it to the game, though.
Yeah. Great games, great people. Pop a Paragon.
Let's pop a Paragon. Let's get to casting. Here we go. Ladies and gentlemen, NA versus EU. It's going to be a pretty intense game.
Yeah. I mean, so what do you think? Do you think anybody? So we've seen a little bit of back and forth with how people have been picking team comps, whether they've been running a double Ranger comp, maybe a little bit more tank centric. Like we saw the devs last game running a super heavy tank squad versus this Ranger heavy community team. And I did point out that the community team might have an upper hand later in the game, which proved to be true. They had more damage for that team fight.
Right.
But I really think that that the fighter, like a fighter squad, might do well as well.
Yeah.
Like taking advantage of that early game power is what's going to be necessary if they want to push that. They had a lot of CC on the dev team. They didn't seem to be effectively using it early, and I think that would have really been the nail in the proverbial coffin.
Yeah, for sure. And I mean, it really lends itself to Paragon being so different. There is no set meta. There is no set, we're just going to run, X, Y, and Z. So that's why we see all these different teams run different comps. Like the game where they ran two shooters was like, what, the second of the day? Most of the time people run one shooter comp, so...
Well, in the vertical aspect of it, where Shambari saving Shaq when he grabbed Selwonk away from him from the bottom level, the floor of the jungle, and I got to say that was I mean Shaq still owes everybody lunch.
He owes us all lunch.
All lunch.
True story.
But being able to see that, I think, is what makes the difference for me. Knowing that I can make an impact and not necessarily have to be on the same. I don't have to be in the same exact area, and I can kind of. You always associate sneaking around in the jungle with ganks only, but the positive impact of it as well. Like being able to not just counter a gank, but just mitigate a gank potentially happening.
Yeah, well, we'll see, man. We got this game, so we're going to jump
Muriel
to that now.
taking us into battle.
Woo! Look at these team comps, Mooney.
If you want to run down, tell us what Team USA is running back.
Team USA, another notch, rocking that steel. Super excited to see that.
Boy.
Drew again on that howitzer. Shane on the Fang Mount, so that's great to see. Black Hokage on Muriel, and Mud, surprisingly, on Murdoch.
Yeah, that is. She's been a pretty heavy Gideon player, right? Mm-hmm. So that's gonna be interesting. On the EU team, we got RG Sache on Murdoch. We got Russ on Chimera, Rurikon on Steel, and Rurikon has a nasty Steel as well. Definitely. Beanhead on that disgusting Decker from last game. And then Jamie Shepard on Fang Mao. We do have those voting results. 77% for Shane. Making a great decision, community.
Great decision.
That is definitely in my opinion, what is going to happen. So we're going to have to see. But those are the lineups. It should be very exciting to see how this pans out, because both teams seem to have pretty balanced compositions, wouldn't you say?
Yeah, I think so. Their teams are a little bit different. I like seeing Fang Mao being mirrored. I think the one factor that blue team can't really account for is Mr. Big Russ on that Chimera, because I mean you've seen all today that if the Chimera gets out of control,
he can get rolling. Yeah,
he gets out of control. So we'll definitely have to keep a close eye on that. But right now we see the Decker and the Steel laning together. How do you feel about that lane matchup?
So
into the
this is actually something I do have a little bit of insight on, because I tried running a little unorthodox stuff with Steel back in my glory days.
Glory days, right.
But running that with Steel I think is actually pretty good. It allows Decker to kind of poke the enemy carries off of him to farm. What's going to start happening, though, is you're going to see the damage is really not going to be enough to contend with the carries after a certain point.
Right.
While I do like the solo lane choices to run those characters in the solo lane, I think this is going to be interesting to see the power back and forth in this lane. Like, especially fighting with the minions. Like, you see both of them at half health. Beanhead, Rurikon having to back up. So, already kind of showing some of that power with that Muriel being able to shield Murdoch and keep him in that fight.
Yeah, and mitigate that damage. It's definitely going to favor them in, like, trading. So, That is definitely something we'll have to be keeping an eye on.
And like I said, the solo lane over here, you have Steel against Feng Mao. Steel in a solo lane is very interesting because it's one of those things you have to know where after 5, when do I go to the team fight? When is my ultimate going to be necessary and turn the tide? Because it may be necessary, but it may not turn the tide of the fight. So maybe you do spend that time pushing, farming up, getting a little bit tankier. So we're gonna have to see if that ends up being a mistake or it was proper that they left Steel in that solo lane.
Yeah, and I think that's a mark of a good Steel player. It's kind of knowing when to go in, and actually we're gonna have to hold that thought, Mooney. We've got Black Hokage being ganked on the Muriel by 3. Steel missing the charge. He might be able to get out of here. He has a shield to protect himself. The knockback coming out from
great,
fantastic.
Mud defending Black Hokage.
That was great.
Keeping him up. I think that he ultimately would have fine, but I think that's the aggression I want to see from EU.
Yes.
Russ really needs to push that Chimera early on with Jamie and get that lead. And Jamie being in the solo lane makes that difficult, but I think if they are allowed to maybe pick up kills on Steel or rotate over to mid onto Drew and maybe get a kill on that howitzer, maybe shut down that howitzer you were speaking about earlier. Tell me about that. How now does he play howitzer earlier today?
He did, and I mean, Drew on this howitzer is just like mind-blowing. He's very careful and patient with all of his abilities. You know, most howitzer players might be tempted to just say, hey, we're fighting, I'm just going to make it rain right here, right now. But with Drew, he's very careful. He's very aware of positioning and space. And so he can really move in and get himself into a position to either zone enemies with Make It Rain or ensure they're going to take that damage, which, I mean, 50% of his damage comes from the tail end of it. So, yeah, I'm expecting to see some really good things. He's also, his debt charge placement is just out of this world.
And that to me, like speaking back to the point you were talking about Steel earlier, that is the mark of a good howitzer player. Optimally using the depth charge where you are able to get away from ganks, keep yourself alive in that laning phase, and get powerful enough to the point where in a fight you're popping carries into your ultimate. You're popping them into your team.
And definitely saw you doing that earlier.
Yeah, and I think it's really going to be down to maybe the team fights, because you look at these teams, they have huge team fight teams. Like you got the containment fence for Beanhead, Rurikon's ultimate, you got the long arm of the law. A little more of a single target focused team on that side, whereas we have the Muriel ultimate, we have the Feng Mao line ultimate, howitzer make it rain, Steel shield slam. So a little bit more of an AoE centric comp on the Team USA, but definitely both teams. It's gonna come down to those fights, I think, because we have a little bit more of a passive laning phase. Right as I say that,
wow, Mighty Russ jumping up, and look at that death charge. I mean, he's already gone to safety.
And bringing Russ down to half health as well.
Yeah.
Causing him to think twice about staying in the jungle. Maybe he needs to go get that regen. Think twice about ganking again. It's Drew Grimy, not Drew Grimy. Nice try.
Yeah, Drew. Nice. There. I think another thing that's going to come down to in these fights is the support, because I mean, Decker is just a very powerful team fighting centric support that when played well, I mean, we saw players playing her earlier, and they did work.
Yes.
Now Muriel is on the opposite end, great at keeping people alive, great at setting up things, and really enabling her team to take these fights appropriately. So
Decker feels like much more of a volatile support than Muriel, where she has the potential to do very well, but also the potential to do harm if the containment fence isn't placed in the right area, or you are wasting an engage, don't have a stun, aren't able to feel for your carry. Whereas Muriel kind of is this mainstay consistency. I'm going to keep landing these shields, trying to keep you up. But the moment that switches and when it comes to Muriel's ultimate, like earlier this day, like the game 1 of the day, the Feng Rush ultimates were on point. He was coming in aggressively, coming in on every fight, and that's the kind of play I'm hoping to see from Black Hokage with that Muriel. The kind of that aggressive Muriel where I know that my carry needs the room to breathe, and I'm going to give it to him.
That's right. Now, Mooney, we just saw the EU team pick up Black Buff right at that 6-minute mark. Why is that important? Tell me what's so important about that.
Making sure you get all available early card power is vital to making sure that as a fighter, you have the cards to sustain you into that mid and the late game to keep up with those carries. And taking that black buff is key to that, because that black buff will be sitting there, provides you the threat of potentially attacking an objective. It may not be the real threat of I'm going to take this black buff and immediately attack a tower, but the empty threat that it's there, they have to be cognizant of who has it and aware of who's there. Also a very terrifying choke point for team fights.
Yeah.
So generally a lot of action does happen around black buff. So in addition to being a great source of card power, a great way to kill objectives, it is a great way to start a fight.
Right. Start a fight.
That was unintentional.
Well played. Well played. Hashtag start a fight, ladies and gentlemen. So now, let's see, we're 7 minutes in, almost 8 minutes. Let's take a look at our scoreboard right now. There hasn't been too much action, so let's look at the numbers. Right now, it is 0-0 at 8 minutes in, which is super surprising.
Oh no, and I think it's a lot of that. The fighters have been kind of subjected. Like you see Jamie over Feng Mao is dealing some serious damage to Notch. We're getting some action in here. Get the other Feng Mao coming in. The shield slam coming down. Jamie getting right out of there. Long over the law coming in. They were relying on that Notch ult to land, looking for that long over the law combo. But Jamie having the quick presence of mind to get out of there. Crisis averted, honestly. And he is starting to deal damage to Notch. That's got to be a little bit scary for him.
Absolutely.
That potentially could lead to the first kill of the game, and you don't want that.
Speaking of which, Shane getting caught out by the Harvester. He's trying to run for his life, but oh, he actually was able to mad dash up onto that hill there, and he might be getting out okay. He's being chased, but no, looks like he's going to get out. Great teleport, great use of verticality. I'm sorry. We kind of talked about that before. Mooney, kind of explain to new viewers, people maybe just tuning in, what's different about Paragon? Why is verticality so important?
It's one of those things where you don't know if you're going to get pulled by a Grux pull into the jungle, or you don't know if a Feng Mao is going to pop out of the jungle and come up and get you with an ult.
Right.
It's understanding that the wards prove more useful in telling you where an enemy might attack from than where an enemy is exactly coming from. So vision, super important, especially in Paragon, and essential to understanding where people exist on the different levels, like whether they're in the jungle, whether they're in lane, where they could come from, potential points of attack, because they start multiplying as you get into this 3D space, right? And we talked about Gideon's portal earlier. I know Shane, a huge fan of like seeing people use that Gideon portal to make plays on people, using that torn space, getting into the fight, opening that rift. Open possibilities.
Open possibilities. That's right.
So we're gonna and Drew is gonna be a huge person for that. The knocking that death charge, knocking people backwards, forwards into fights, out of fights.
See, Notch trying to tussle with Jamie.
That's not gonna work out.
That's not gonna work out. Immediately backs off and goes, "All right, Jamie. I see why you run the Reddit. I'm gonna give you the student's view, but next time we are gonna fight."
He runs the Reddit like he plays his Feng Mao.
Really well.
Very with a strong hand.
With a strong hand. I like it. We'll have to meet up with Jamie after that to make sure that he knows how I feel about him.
I think that it's very interesting to me that Chimera and Feng Mao haven't gotten a little bit more aggressive and taken some riskier plays. That's really what they're going to need in the mid game, and passiving this out is really only going to let us see if Mud and RGS Ace can get farmed enough, and who's going to get farmed enough. Because in those team fights, it's going to be based around those Murdochs. Like a lot of these teams, like you have the Decker to save, you have the Decker to help out Ace, you have Black Okage on Muriel to help out Mud, but are they going to be able to keep them alive when that Chimera's on top of him, when that Decker is caging him in? And I actually think that's the interaction I want to see, because Muriel does have that alacrity she can throw to teammates, help them out, and get them out of that fight.
Yeah, and I think to your point, Mooney, going back and talking about Russ not being able, honestly, to secure a gank, is that NA's lineup is all basically engage or disengage, right? If at any moment Russ tries to jump onto Drew, he'll just ult and pop himself back toward tower or dead charge himself back.
Oh yeah, that's a great point. All of them have escapes to get out of lane. Some form of CC, like a Sparrow pick might have spelled a poor decision here, because that early gank probably might have ended up in the death.
That's right.
Like the
Mud was able to jump along and knock him away, securing that Muriel, make sure that Black Okage walked away with his life. So
honestly, so good draft, I think, on both teams' ends, like to really understand where their team strengths are.
Let's see people try to engage, but no, they're just gonna back off.
Notch getting punished out of the lane. A hesitant engage in the lane over here. We got the 3-on-3 over here. The pseudo tri-lane. Muriel ulting in onto Notch. A bit of a miscommunication, it seems there. I believe Notch was having trouble, but he ended up being able to disengage from Jamie. So a little bit of a wasted Muriel ultimate there, but we're gonna have to see if they can capitalize on this. Maybe get this tri-lane push, but Ace looks like he's going back. Oh, Notch going down to Jamie. So I'm curious if he did try to re-engage to try and use that Muriel ultimate to the best. Yeah. So I think longer the law coming across, but that's very interesting.
Jamie.
So first kill onto Jamie. That's going to be dangerous. Like Feng Mao can get out of control.
Yeah. So hashtag Notch right now is up 1-0.
That's well done.
Don't forget to vote, ladies and gentlemen.
I stand corrected.
Yeah, I'm very excited to see what will happen. You know, it seems like both teams really just playing really passively, just trying not to make a mistake. 'Cause, I mean, both of these teams definitely play at high level. But they definitely know 100% what they're doing. And you can kind of tell they're trying to make sure that they don't mess up first.
Right.
So even Notch going down, I mean, it's one death, not a big deal. It went over to Feng Mao, which could spell trouble later on. We will see the zoning make it rain. They're going to try and push the objective, but
we're gonna have to see. Yeah, we're gonna have to see if Team USA can trade here, because if they cannot trade, that is going to be a huge deficit for them.
And the
ultimate coming in onto Drew. Drew just using that death charge doesn't look like it's mana for that ultimate. Rurikon getting ulted to his death by Shane. Shane picking up a kill. What a kill! But we have EU coming in here trying to help the brethren. Ace pushing him back. Steel still trying to come in on him. Notch trying to come in on. Oh my god, Chimera just getting in there. Beanhead's ultimate just zoning off the entire team. EU just raining in on USA. USA not knowing where to go, how to back up. Completely separated. Mud going to get taken out, and EU coming out on top. What a presence of mind to loop around back, knowing the respawn times. Rurikon able to land that ultimate onto Drew. Drew not even dying, but this team staying in the fight. Oh, and Ace with a wonderful long arm law to finish him off. Yeah, RG Sache indeed.
That was a good shot. I mean,
that might make it up into one of his top 5 plays.
That might. Really great play coming out from EU, so they definitely have a little bit of an upper hand. Let's take a look at this replay, though.
What really happened in that fight. So you can see Beanhead really cordoning off the team, and Drew kind of having to dip out of that, while the EU team fearlessly moving into the Decker ultimate to methodically take apart Team USA. And really just a great move by them to understand that who they had zoned off and that Howitzer was not a threat anymore with that lack of mana.
Yep.
So
Very
just
well
really well executed by Team EU.
See EU here pick up a tower because of that engagement.
Yes. So, and it's one of those things where you were speaking about it earlier, but that kill onto Jamie, he felt confident enough to rotate into that middle lane, get that tower, and then they were then able to subsequently rotate over to the prime lane and finish off the rest of the USA team.
Yeah.
As they were trying to take out that turret. So great rotation by Jamie, and honestly, great move by EU. Like, great team fight. And that's what we're going to look for. If they can continue those team fights, EU might start snowballing their way to a victory. So we're going to see if NA can answer.
15 minutes on the clock. Let's pull up the scoreboard, take a look at the numbers, see where our teams are at right now. So 1-5. So EU kind of leading the pack right now.
Ace at a staggering 72 farm in comparison to, honestly, the rest of the game.
Yeah.
Most people coming the closest, I think, at 40. So he is definitely almost double.
So RJ Sache really just showing off his skills as a marksman and a carry. But let's take it back to the game right now. Huge team fight. Notch landing an ultimate, taking out RJ Sache. And now we'll see EU trying to run for their lives. NA's here. I mean, they're at 4. We see Muriel with the alacrity to speed up an ally, and they're going to try and chase them down. They are dropping that Chimera very low.
Real ultimate coming in, knocking him off.
Yeah, there it is. Decker trying to escape. Can she escape? I mean, she actually might.
Beanhead better not get out of this. I will be.
I
cannot believe it.
Outplays. He hops back up. There's that verticality we talked about.
What a move! He's just running circles around this team right now.
Muriel's
running back into the team, running in circle. Oh, this is just Beanhead with the magic moves. These speed.
No,
oh my no!
You have no health. You should not be alive right now. Run for your life.
Team EU still somehow in this fight. Russ fighting back, keeping that region up. Drew Grimey trying to finish off Beanhead. Beanhead, is he going to get out of there?
Just tag him twice.
Oh, there he is.
Secure the kill.
Beanhead getting a little too cocky there.
Yeah.
He was out, and we saw him come back in to kind of play a little bit on that, but definitely US going to take that fight and the tower, and I'm happy to see that, being able to turn around, come back from a lost fight, and really, you know, execute. Like, and that's honestly what it is. Like, we talked about it last game a little bit with the dev game, and it's going to be about execution with a lot of these similar team comps. Understanding what you need to do to have that slight edge over your opponent. Notch going to try and go, or Shane trying to go for the cutoff here. Oh, no, he's not.
Close.
Jamie, knowing that he's going to come for that from that side thing.
Fully aware.
Jamie, the longtime player, very understanding of those. Yeah, and knowing what his capabilities are and where you want to go optimally is proving to be helpful. So, what did you? So what did you think of that last? It seemed like a pseudo fight more than an actual fight. That EU was staying a little bit too long trying to defend a tower that was already down.
Yeah, it did seem kind of like maybe they should just let the tower fall. I mean, at that point, when there's more enemies around and it's just a tower that's already half dead, like, just back up. Give them the tower, but don't risk your lives. Don't risk valuable card power that you're giving away to the enemy team. And as you saw, NA took advantage of it. They took the tower. They were up 1-3, I believe. So overall, NA really winning that small little skirmish there. And I mean, hopefully they can turn it into a lead. We'll see. I mean, as of right now, it feels like Orange Team is very much in a commanding lead.
Yeah, and it's going to be rotations, and that commanding lead probably is due in part to RGS's Ace's amazing farming.
Yes.
So if he keeps that up, he's going to be a force to be reckoned with as we arrive to late game. So they're going to have to be keeping an eye out for that. And coming in from Rurikon, trying to defend that tower. I think he was looking for maybe more than one to try and catch him under that tower.
I think he was looking for Drew.
But definitely, I mean, getting in there to defend that tower, trying to stop that mid lane. EU cognizant of NA's rotations. Oh, but the opposite engage, Notch coming in into that make it rate, into the Mural Ultimate, the Wombo combo coming in. What an amazing play. Rurikon going down. Russ going to go down here shortly afterwards, trying to get that color for the last minute. Notch tanking this tower. Is he going to go down? Looks like he is sacrificing his life for the tower. Sacrificing his life for our votes, really.
Yeah,
but sacrificing his life for the tower.
That was really well played by
NA.
NA.
Very well executed. So, and that's what I want to see. Like, NA continuing that is going to be helpful to them. We're going to get a replay, hop back into the match. If we can really like break down, you see Notch without hesitance jumped in, knowing the Muriel Ultimate is going to come in shortly afterwards and that make it rain to finish them off. Just eliminating both of them and any attempt of defense.
And you can
Ace
tell
showing up, trying to help out.
And you could tell that Notch knew he was going to die. So he basically put that extra time into attacking the tower.
Yes.
Making sure the tower was...
You saw that slight hesitation to go away, but then knowing that he's going to...
Nope, and walked up and he hit that tower because he knew that was the extra amount of damage they needed.
You're min-maxing, right? You're maximizing your damage for the amount of time you're going to be alive, which was not any longer. No. And I think that actually brings the count to 2-1 or 2-1. I think we might be losing on the hashtag Shane front.
I don't
we'll have to see, but maybe Shane makes us eat our words. But US is playing very well after that one engager NA. Fantastic fight there. Hopefully they can continue it. Maybe get the tier 1.
I hope so. I really liked also once they took that fight, they took the tower, they were out. They immediately were like, guys, we got what we wanted. Let's leave. We can farm up the jungle on our way out, and they stop and got that black buff from Shane.
Oh yeah, Shane rocking the triple buff. Like that's going to be huge if they can try and get an objective push on that. Maybe even a tier 2. Maybe send Shane to split push.
Yeah, absolutely.
I think the opportunities are endless.
I really feel, man, like RJ Sache, I feel like he is a looming threat hanging over this game right now. If NA does not,
but he's got to deliver on it though.
He does have to deliver. If they can pick him off at the start of the fight, that's probably really well. Look at that, he's going Notch, barely whiffing the ultimate. RJ Sache just barely making it out. So I don't know that if they would have had the damage to kill him there with just the steal and the decker, but good attempt, not bad, close, and again just pushing RJ Sache back, trying to keep him from farming because he's starting to get a little bit out of control. 20 minutes on the map, scoreboard, I'm sorry. Let's pull up the old scoreboard. I want to see. So right now we are 5-5.
Yes.
So we're
fairly
even again.
Yeah. And I think the one thing that EU has been neglecting a little bit is getting that Chimera a little bit more farm because he is sitting at 45 right now, and you want to see him in the higher numbers to really push that terror we had seen earlier. Because if he cannot get that that kind of early game, Notch and Shane mentioned that early game assassin-y feel where he's culling carries for half their health, taking them out. We're gonna be heading into a fight here. Maybe Rurikon coming in behind him, not gonna have that ultimate. Tried to use it on Mud earlier. Make it rain coming down, trying to separate that team fight. Drew getting himself out. Hokage caught in the middle of this. Muriel ulting out of it. US making a fancy escape there. That was very clean, getting out of there.
That was clean, yeah. Absolutely.
Drew just like shooting way over them. Muriel ulting to get out. Yeah, it's 2 ultimates used, but at the cost of those kills, Notch coming in. Is he going to be able to land this ultimate? He's going in, no hesitation.
Lands a
Shane coming in. Shane dropping that ultimate on top of them. I think he might have gotten interrupted on that, knocking 2 members of Team EU back into NA. NA finished them off. Shane and Crew were able to finish them off.
Shane is just going in, dude.
Oh, yeah. Notch and Shane just going super hard in this fight. Notch knowing that he might get knocked out, falling back before he does die. Oh, Beanhead with the direct hit on the stasis bomb, finishing off Notch. Beanhead still back there in the team fight. 3 members very low on Team NA.
Beanhead escaped. I don't even know.
This man has the moves of magician. Oh no. Okay.
Right.
Well, all right.
Okay.
Well then.
All right. I was genuinely like, is he about to outplay them?
At this point, all I know is that it's a little much, and he was fine. He could have escaped, and you don't know. Maybe all of these extra kills that Mud's getting on these Bean swag moves might be catching her up back to Ace.
Yeah,
so
let's check out a replay. I want to see what
Definitely.
Break down that last fight for a little bit for us, Mooney.
So you see Notch with the no hesitation engage, knowing Rurikon does not have ult to follow up because he used it on Mud, and we just have Mud back here firing shots repeatedly into them, knowing they aren't able to return them due to that steel force shield. Moving up with them, Notch taking the necessary hits. Yes, he does die to Beanhead, and the enemy team is low, but getting those kills under the necessary carry.
That's right. That's going to be huge, man, because I feel like right now with Arjusache's farm count, Mud's, they have to funnel resources into Mud, right?
Yes.
They have to make sure that their marksman, their carry, is on the same par as Arjusache. Because I think that, especially with the EU's Chimera very low on farm, very low on card points, that's going to help make that extra difference.
I'm really going to look to more of an aggressive strategy from EU going forward in these team fights. Notch, without hesitation on these ultimates, has been really key for NA winning these team fights because knowing your limit on steel is the biggest thing. Knowing how in you can go.
Right.
Sorry, it's weird to say that, but that's how it feels, like how in I can go on a team fight.
Yeah.
And commit before feeling like I haven't actually invested anything.
That's
so
right.
how far can I go in before ulting? Am I committing this team fight now? Do I need to ult? Do I need to use some other abilities to keep my team alive? And he did that, ulted into the force shield, knowing he had to charge to peel some characters off of his hero. So
Top, we got 5 members of the EU team rotating in on the NA team. They're going to try to immediately blow up Drew before he can even pop his ultimate. Notch is going to land a huge steel slam, but it's going to look like they might be losing.
yeah, they really don't have a lot of damage in this fight. Beanhead really using that containment fence to zone off half of Team NA, and Notch kind of getting pushed back here. Black Hokage kind of sticking around, but it looks like they're going to try and pick off Notch here, finish him off.
Yep.
And we got Shane sticking around. Shane's going to get taken out, and Hokage shortly afterwards, unless he's able to use that remaining mana to get an escape. Mid sitting there in the background obviously does not want to come down that gate, but is she able to get a stun? Rurikon kind of coming up behind her, going to get that charge. Knock Mud back into the team, getting the slow mid-air from Jamie, finishing off Mud. So Rurikon having the foresight to know to go behind Mud, her not being in that sprint mode yet, and being able to knock her back into the team. That's going to be huge for EU. We're going to see if they can get a tier 2 off of this, because Black Hokage is the only one able to defend it. Drew Grimy on his way back, but he may not get here in time.
Yeah.
If he does, might be primed for a quad kill there.
Oh, he's going to try
Up with that ultimate,
maybe,
okay.
Maybe ult a little not quite in the perfect place there, but
They are going to
zoning ult, they will secure that tower, and they're going to just have to back off. They really can't press this any more objectives with low health like this, so...
Right, and I think once we take a look, honestly, at the replay of this fight, we can kind of see how EU played around NA and kind of cordoned them off from their own team.
Yes.
Drew immediately taken out, dropping that Beanhead ultimate, that Decker ultimate that shows up, is what's really key to separating this team. So you see that Mud's back there; she cannot engage in the fight, not even close to the fight at that point, and Jamie trying to repeatedly get out of that fight, get himself out of the Muriel knockup before it had gone off.
Yeah.
But they were able to turn it around just by having the damage there. And that's going to be so important. And we saw that mistake with the game earlier where the devs didn't have enough carries to deal that damage.
Yep.
And I have the same fear here. If you're not able to keep alive your damage long enough in a team fight, it doesn't matter how far ahead they are or how good the beginning of the team fight might have been, because it ends up being a war of attrition.
Yeah, that's correct.
And carries are full and ready to go. Especially Ace. You saw him whacking away at that tower, just destroying it. Drew definitely putting up a huge fight to try and stop that, but Ace is at the point where he can really deal some damage to those towers. Jamie's especially getting to that point as well. If we want to pull up the scoreboard, we take a look at the card points, kind of see the distribution at this point.
7 and 10.
Yeah.
All right. They're relatively close. We are just looking at the card points. I mean, these teams are very close, you know? The highest right now is Shane at 30 card. Oh, I'm sorry, Arjusache at 39 card points, 105 creep score. That's insane. That's almost double everyone on the enemy team. He's got card points for days. Now let's highlight specifically his build. Right now, he's sitting on a Sage's Ward, so he's gonna give vision to him and his allies. We see he used the 1 points there to quickly max out that card to get the bonus energy damage. Next, though, meltdowns. Why would he run meltdown, Mooney?
So he is looking at the team that he's facing. You have Steel, you have a Murdoch, you have a Muriel. All these heroes are heroes that are going to be edging on the side of building a lot of damage earlier. But when they do get to that point that they understand, oh, I'm taking damage now, I'm going to start building resistances, he is foreseeing that with how he has built his character. So you said he's so far ahead, he's able to get that temper plate, that tune barrier, socketed with those lesser health, those minor guards, maxing out, getting that max passive of the resistance, and knowing that if the enemy tries to do the same, he has the meltdown ready to melt right through that. Mud hasn't picked up the defensive item yet, so Ace is just ready and primed for when that does happen, but he will be ripping through the remainder of the team meanwhile.
Yep, and it looks like we're going to have NA try to rotate here in on EU. They're going to find Rust. They're going to try and pick him off. They're going to use Ambush. This one Drew was immediately going to respond with his Make It Rain. Mud taking down Rust. Can they get anything else? Is there any follow-up? Doesn't look like it, so a 1 for 0 rather.
It feels like a little bit of an overkill there.
Yeah, a little desperation attempt maybe.
And I mean, and at this point you do take what you can, but I want to see what they can actually do with this. Like they got a kill, took out Russ. What can you convert this into?
Yes.
Because it may not matter how much you commit to a kill, because yeah, if you get 3 ultimates but you kill a main carry, that's huge.
That's huge.
So it'll have to be how they convert this kill, because you do have Jamie not in this fight split pushing. And they have 3 right here to hold this. So if they're able to successfully hold this, that split push might pay off.
Yep. We'll see here. NA trying to push this tower, but he was like, no way. Still put his shield down in almost the perfect spot, and was like, hey, you're not gonna damage this tower. Drew maybe being a little aggressive there in his positioning, but we're gonna see EU try and chase. I mean, they could catch out Black Hokage if he's not careful. All right, there you go. A whiffed ult from the enemy steal there. Not bad. Blowing an enemy steal is kind of huge, and that cooldown will be down for what, 60 seconds. So
yeah, I mean that ultimate is definitely super important for team fights, but I think more so they were trying to stall for Jamie to try and get that split push down and stop them from going back. But Jamie had already called that I think he had seen somebody nearby, and Murdoch showing up, of course, Mud showing up to like stop that split push. But smart move by Jamie to back off. But I respect the ultimate to try and stop them from backing. Maybe not necessary, but we're gonna have to just make sure that if that information is there, that Hokage is letting them know. And we're getting a beautiful look at Jamie Shepard here. Oh, what a beautiful man!
What a beautiful
standing there, just hanging out in the jungle.
Looks just like him in person.
Yeah, that's his yearbook photo.
Yeah,
from high school. So it's actually very interesting to me that there hasn't been more split push attempts by EU, because I feel like they have been a little bit falling behind in the team fight department.
Yes.
Like Notch has been landing some really good ultimates, Drew into that Make It Rain. So I do look to Jamie to do maybe more of that split pushing, using the fact that he's a little bit farther ahead than his counterpart. It's going to be interesting, and I hope that can actually result in the tower being taken. Because NA seems to be falling behind a little bit in towers after that tier 2 mid was taken.
Yep, they're definitely. I mean, they just don't have as much map control, right? Yeah. Once you give up a tier 2, especially in mid lane, that's very difficult, because it means you can't really be as safe as you want to. You know, if you step too far forward and the enemy is in your jungle, because they can be, because they took that tower, they might catch you off guard and try and take you out. So
and now you're forced as a team to invest more heavily into wards.
That's right, because
you were not aware of the various directions an enemy could come from. Now that you have this sort of naked lane that just has an inhibitor exposed that you'll have to deal with.
That's right, and I mean, at this point, NA has to be really careful. If they take a wrong team fight and the lane is picked up that inhib, that is going to be a free inhib for EU. So definitely have to keep a close eye on that, and just hope that they can pull it out. You know, I mean, this game, it's still relatively close. RJ Sachi is the only one that's the true outlier here, and he's built accordingly.
Yeah, and I think it'll really be important to see how he actually contends. And you could see him immediately just shredding any energy armor that Notch is planned to build. Ace is prepared for it. So Notch a little hesitant there, maybe looking for his teammates for an engage, but not able to execute on that. But EU looking to respond quickly here, like running through as a squad, trying to come up on this.
No,
they know exactly what they're getting into with this.
And here we go. They do Make It Rain coming out from Drew. Everyone's being dropped so low. Notch almost dying. But it looks like Black Hokage is going to pick up himself a kill. We see a cluster going on. A lot of people falling.
Yeah, initially it looked like US was coming out on this team, and it still looks like it still appears to be that way. But
wait, Shane Lynch taking out Jamie. That's huge.
Exactly, that is huge right now. Shane getting caught between him, rocking hard plays. Ace trying to chase him down. Ace the only carry left on his team right now. Is Shane going to be able to get away? We'll have to see if he can get in that sprint mode. Beanhead looks like he's just going to be tracking him down.
You can jive.
Get around that corner.
But he's got his team. They're here.
Hokage here to help him out. Yes, what a.
They're going to try and secure this kill. Yeah. I mean, Shane, be careful.
Yeah.
You monster. You're so low. I mean, VNet.
They're going to be able to convert. Oh, but Ace actually killing Drew over in the corner. So they did leave Drew with Ace, not remembering that Ace is one of the most farm person in the game, and the key target in this team fight. So I do not know, even though the NA seemingly won that fight based on numbers traded, I don't know if I like Ace surviving that long through the team fight.
And securing a kill or two. Let's go to this replay, though. Mooney, break this down for us.
So we see right here a lot of the AoE ultimates being dropped. Fengmao's dropping their ultimates. Mud trying to make some way. Dropping that force shield really kind of cordoned off the team. A lot of people getting pushed into this choke position. Long Arm of the Law coming through. And during this whole time, Ace is sitting back there, drops Long Arm of the Law, and is sitting there waiting for the team. Yep. I commend Ace for not going into that choke point because that was a mistake by Team EU. NA knew their strength and they played to it. They baited EU into that shadow pad, dropped all of those AoE ultimates to make it rain, the shield slam, the Muriel ultimate, and ended up winning that team fight strictly due to that. Yeah,
that was really well played, but we also did see 4 kills being picked up by NA, so depending on where that was distributed, might actually go...
Yeah, maybe turn the tides, yeah. So I think right now both teams are going to try to reset a little bit of a volatile team fight, but understand what they want to do. Ace doing some ward clearing, and that's going to be key right now. Vision is going to be huge, catching out 1 or 2 people, and you can see both jungles just being lit up with wards like in this mid game. As you proceed through it, like picking up those shadow wards, you can see Ace happen to walk by one, sees the ward right now, probably calling for help to try and clear this one out.
Just to be sure.
Yeah, of course. You always be safe. Better safe than sorry.
Looks like EU setting up for Prime Boss, maybe?
Potentially, I see both teams kind of doing that dance that you do, where you both stand in the shadow pad and you're both like, all right.
You see each other and you're like, I'm going to do this. And you're like, you're not, though. And it's like, hey, I challenge you. I mean, we just see.
Yeah, we're going to see whether it ends up being one of those, all right, never mind. Well, I guess we're both leaving. And it seems to be turning out that way.
Like.
Both teams really sticking together as a group, though. Jamie's still in that off lane farming up, and that could turn dangerous.
That could be really dangerous.
And of all the fighters, I am the most terrified of a Feng Mao really getting farmed to that point because he can get on top of your carry, slow them, and land that crushing ultimate.
Especially, I mean, Mud, she's had pretty good positioning, but in this last fight, even you saw, Mud was very far forward, and that's not typically what you want, whereas RJ Sache's
sitting way far back.
Yeah, he knows where he needs to be, he knows his limits, knows, okay, I cannot step forward here, because he's basically relying on himself, which is pretty smart, you know?
And it's one of those things where, if you think about it, Team NA is playing more to Mud than Team EU is playing to Ace.
Yep.
They're letting Ace do kind of his own thing and freeform on the back end, while Team NA is like, let's engage, but also feel for our carry.
See a huge team fight break out. Not landing.
Only landing on a couple of people, but trying to go for that combo again. Getting that kill onto Russ. Another great shield slam by Rurikon, landing on 3 of them, pushing them all back. Ace kind of having to contend with Shane on the back there. But meanwhile, Jamie Shepard getting that split push and open inhibitor for Team NA. So we have to see if NA can actually convert the kills out of this. Notch falling into the jungle. Rurikon going to run into a wild Shane. Is Shane going to be able to finish him off? We have Jamie Shepard still pushing. Is he going to get that inhib? Nobody has gone back to stop him yet.
They need to respond.
Notch running back manually. He is going to get there in time, I believe, but very...
Jamie play, man.
Oh, and he's got that black buff. I don't know, actually.
He might...
Waiting on those minions? No, he's going to go for this.
Shane just got back. He's going to put some damage on that inhib. Here's
no ultimate. I would even sacrifice myself for this. Oh, that's it.
It's dropping real low.
I think he's going to get this.
Can they secure it? Oh,
yes, Jamie. Oh, Jamie Shepard are the savior of the EU team after that fight. Honestly, NA making...
Oh, that was close.
Jamie trying to go for the sneaky, I'm going to hop up here for a second and play chicken with you.
Yep.
But not going to work out. And really well done by NA in that team fight. We're going to go back and see the replay on that. And it's going to really show us that NA played this team fight very well. But you have to keep in mind, people playing that mid back-and-forth chicken, Rurikon able to re-engage on that ultimate, landing it on 3 of them with the long arm of the law, Ace able to survive long enough, and Rurikon able to survive long enough to provide Jamie with the leeway to do this. But and that really is going to be a big game changer, having that open inhibitor right now. So we're going to see what both teams want to do next. And actually... Team NA is going to have to be sure to make a conversion out of this. Did not happen on screen, but Team NA made an attempt at the Orb Prime and were taken extremely low. Mud taken out by an extremely ace long arm of the law. So
Well played.
EU trying to get onto that Orb Prime right now. They're going to hopefully try and take it out.
This is a 3v5 though.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know if NA can take this fight.
And NA is watching though, and maybe wanting to go in, try and go for that clutch steal. It seems to be what they're waiting for.
I don't know that they should. I think they just need to give this up. Mooney.
Yeah, but it might be a mistake, honestly. You have Ace here on the side. Shane would have to come up behind him and try and take out Ace.
And blink over that wall on the right there. We're gonna see.
That's really what's going to be here. It's getting very
very
low. Is he going to be going for this? They're counting it down. You know they're communicating to each other. Is he going to go for this? He's going to go now. If he's going to go, he better go. Oh, no! With the steal on Orb Prime. What an amazing steal. Notch coming out on ultimate. Black Hokage coming in afterwards. Rurikon charging through the team. Beanhead locking all of NA into that ultimate. EU looks like they might be coming out on top here after an amazing steal. If they can take out Shane here, Shane is reaming in on their back line. Shane dropping a little bit lower here. Right Russ solo. Getting pushed right into Russ. Russ picking up that kill. Shane getting taken out. Maybe killing his teammate a little bit there with that
There's
move along, but
the enemy support.
Ace ending up with that Orb Prime. What a steal by Notch. I will not.
What a steal?
Yes, what a steal. Yes, what a steal by Notch. Ooh, just missed.
That was close.
But oh my.
That is a replay worthy moment.
Yeah, be steal my beating heart.
Be steal my. Okay.
Of course.
I need you to stop with these punts, sir. I can't handle them.
Yes.
You know, after that team fight, man.
Look at this. Oh, perfect. Coming in with the steal, but. Like you said, the follow-up. NA, despite wanting that steal, being thirsty for that Orb Prime, did not have the people. They have 3 in the pit, great engage, but with 5, yeah, sure, it converts to a kill. Mud is only able to help out with the long arm of the law. You do not have your carry there, they have their carry.
They only have one source of damage.
Yeah, and by that simple distinction, they lose the fight. Ace has Orb Prime now, and he's going to... Adding on to the immense amount of damage he's doing, that Orb Prime will activate that card for him. Beanhead going to pick up the buff, going to go try and turn that in with his slick moves, his fast feet.
Yeah, Arctic, man, he's just proving to be
he's doing a very good job.
He's insane.
Just playing consistently, farming well, and being the rock for Team EU. Really being the rock they can all anchor themselves off of.
Yeah, and I think back to your point that you made earlier, Mooney, you know, it does feel like NA's really trying to play to Mud.
Yeah,
and
the 57 Karn points on Ace, he's a solo... he's a solo hero on his own, like kind of in these team fights, but you see the immediate reaction when he does get attacked. Jamie does peel off, Rurikon does peel off. Mud playing a little bit back in these fights early on might have punished them. She was not able to pick up those kills, and meanwhile Ace is in the side lane farming his way to victory.
Now pulling up the scoreboard, there's RJ Sache.
143, and that is an impressive value.
That is insane.
Comparatively to the rest of the team, almost doubling, straight up doubling some of the farm of the other solo laners.
That's right.
And that's really got to speak volumes for how well he's played this whole game.
Yeah.
So yeah, and Ace is definitely getting the tip of the hat for MVP this game, in my opinion.
Absolutely. And I mean, it just goes to show. Wait, hold on, hold that thought. We've got a team fight breaking out. NA getting caught out.
That ultimate, House ultimate coming down. That shield slam coming in from Notch. Is NA being able to take this? Mud picking up the first kill onto Russ. They're looking for this, trying to get onto Ace. Ace with that Orb Prime, kiting back on Notch. Maybe feeling a little bit more aggressive. Oh, that stun from Beanhead onto Notch, stopping that charge from him escaping. Ace going to have to take out these two right in his face right here. I think he's going to be able to. He just has to commit on these. Can he take out Notch? Is he going to take him out? Oh, Notch finishing off. Rurikon, can Ace take out Notch? Notch taken out. Ace trying to finish off the last member here. Shane having to move over and stop this Jamie split push. Oh, fantastic play by EU all around. Just really attacking them on all fronts. Black Hokage doing some fine footwork, but it looks like he is going to get taken down. Just the Beanhead Ace combo in that whole team fight, consistently taking them down. Ace is going to be able to turn in that Orb Prime.
That was a replay moment. Let's go to the replay. That was insane.
See it. Yeah, we got to see that fight again. Like a lot of hectic stuff happening early, but you got to see the cold precision words of EU being able to stun out the right heroes, zone them out correctly, and keeping up Ace. Ace really peeling for himself while Rurikon's on that backline disrupting the fight. Really understanding his role in that team fight, that Ace has that prime. He's going to be able to keep himself alive by dealing that damage. You know, the best defense is a good offense. Kill somebody so they can't kill you.
And we will see Jamie pick up that second
trading an inhib for a death, take that 10 out of 10 every time.
10 out of 10 every single time.
So that's EU, 2 inhibitors down for NA, and Orb Prime on a very healthy EU team.
That's right.
NA's going to definitely have to do some magic here and maybe pick up that X Prime for the defensive dunk to mount somewhat of a comeback here. That's going to be what they're going to look for.
Oh, man, but look at all these super minions trying to walk their way into their base, Mooney. That's what, 1, 2, 3, 6 super minions, Mooney.
That's so many super minions.
They basically have to dedicate players to these lanes.
Yeah. This might even be the point where Mud maybe sits in one of those lanes and tries to farm up, catch up to Ace. That's because he is Murdoch right now. He is 60 card points, level 15, black buff, red buff. All he's missing is blue buff, and he is final form.
That's right. Now, Mooney, let's talk a little bit about the card points, because, like you said, RJ Sache is at 60 card points. That basically means he's capped. That's it. He's as strong as he's going to be for the rest of the match. What does that mean for NA?
NA is going to have to find those little ways they can exploit him in his current state. If they can find a way to kill him in these team fights and keep exploiting that, that's going to be the way they win the game, because there is no more variance he can introduce.
Right.
So if they can analyze what specific static mistakes he might make, or issues with how he built defensively, and isolate what those problems are, and then attack, if they kill him in a team fight, that could be the fight, honestly. And like I said, at this point, the only other farmed up person on that EU team to close to Ace is Jamie. With a split push. Mm-hmm. So we're going to have to really see if Jamie's in that fight. If that happens, it's really one of those good scenarios that would work out for NA, like the optimal scenario. So they're going to have to take out Ace and find that that maybe potentially, if it exists, problem in how this is happening. Because Ace has been playing immaculately this game.
Yeah, because, I mean, we saw that last fight. They just left Ace just walk around and just pump damage out. Drop deeps, and, you know, they didn't even... I mean, and we did see him use Move Along to knock Notch away the moment he did try to engage, but there's no follow-up.
Oh, and it's crazy because he's actually playing so amazingly that we are at 6K viewers now.
Oh my gosh.
That's
almost there, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah, and fantastic. We're at 11 rolls now, ladies and gentlemen. Next roll at... Oh yeah, we're at 5-5. So next roll is at 6K.
That's right.
But you got the 11. We got the 11. We're at 11.
11 rolls, guys.
Let's move it up. We keep going, and right back into a team fight. Rurikon with the aggressive engage on this last inhibitor. Mud immediately taken out. Beautiful job by Rurikon, knowing exactly what his job was to get Mud, isolate her, get her out of that. Black Hokage taking out Rurikon. He's heading out. Jamie going over to that right lane, kind of sneaking in, trying to sneak his way in, maybe attack that core. But after seeing the success of his team in middle lane, coming over to try and rotate and take out this last inhibitor. Because it looks like Drew's going to be back there on wave clear duty, trying to clear out the waves and waves of super minion coming in, just dropping that ultimate. But waves are still coming in. Jamie kind of sitting on the side there, cheating in. Shane going for that engage onto Ace. This is what they need right now. NA needs this right now. Well, perfect dash in on the knock-up, getting that ultimate in. Ace still kiting back on Shane right now. Shane low on mana. Black Hokage going in, trying to get that slow. It looks like they're going to have to black up here. Ace still getting that damage. Getting that damage onto him. Notch knocking Ace out of the fight. Looks like they want to try and maybe turn this back. But Ace just going to walk back up, finish off Notch.
Damage.
I respect the attempt because you have to do something at that point.
Yeah.
But really, Ace is so far ahead at this point, he's able to have that commanding force in that team fight where you have to commit so much to him that the team is able to play around him. Beanhead popping the slowdown, popping the ultimate, stunning the necessary targets. Drew back there cleaning out the super minions is going to do the much help while Ace just melts through this tower. Russ finishing off Black Hokage.
Yep.
Not dying to that inhibitor due to Ace being able to take it out, surviving. And yeah, this is going to be the true turret defense right here.
This is it. Jamie's looking like he wants to end the game.
Oh,
there are super minions walking into the base
for this.
of NA right now. Could this be it, Mooney? Could we be seeing the end of the game?
If not now, very soon. NA needs to make a miracle play for that prime. Like, that is really what we're looking at here. Getting that prime and getting all three of those inhibs back up. And it will be back up shortly. NA will just have to hold out till then. And Ace just adding a little bit more to taking out that vision gate, but knowing he shouldn't overstay his welcome. Maybe head back to base, heal up a little bit, make sure he's full health and ready to go for that potential final push.
I hope we have a replay for that last fight, because I really want you to analyze and take a look at what Beanhead was doing that entire fight. Because Beanhead's Decker is insane. Like, the moment that RJ was engaged, he fell back, and it was just And just watch.
Oh no, and the
left.
perfect positioning of the ultimate to knock Mud back into the tower range, so that the team will have a clear line of sight to finish her off, as well as having that line of you can't cross this anymore.
That's right.
You cannot engage on our team, and then that proven even more by Beanhead and Ace backing up in tandem, while Russ and Rurikon were able to have that hard engage. Rurikon going out early in the fight, but Russ able to provide that fighter tank aspect later in the game that we talked about Chimera ascending to. So really well played by EU, just all around great team fights. Beanhead and Ace really finding that synergy as that duo, and Rurikon and Russ doing their work as those tanks. And Jamie finding his niche in that split push. I think everybody on this team has kind of found their role they fit into, and they just have to keep cycling that and finish out this game.
Yeah.
NA's going to have to look for one of those explosive team fights we knew them for in that early game.
Yep. They need to ace. I mean, they have to ace them and then try and go for Prime, right?
And they have to RGS ace them.
RGS ace them. I got to say, I got to commend NA, though. They've been playing really well, but like to your point, I mean,
it's just been some minor,
took that in him.
And it's been some minor just ways that EU's improved upon what they were doing before.
Yep.
So Beanhead putting them in the cage, not really sure if there's any follow-up here. Might have been hoping for a catch, but calling for the disengage there. Team backing up. Oh, it looks like they may be going. Jamie's going over to that black buff there.
Okay.
So
Jamie's
the
like,
team waiting out.
Make sure that we can end this game, right?
So yeah, making sure they cover all their bases, and that's really what Team EU has been this game. Consistency and making sure they cover all their bases, really. Making sure that there's no holes in the proverbial armor.
Yeah.
So
and their play is insane, right?
Oh,
Anytime they made a single decision, there was always some, even if
a
they
follow-up.
lost, there was a follow-up. Jamie taking first in hip, huge. Second in hip, insane. And that's really what let them take this commanding lead.
And what led to the team fight was Team EU extending, artificially extending those team fights with Rurikon, with Russ.
Now we're going to see, they're going to try and end the game, Mooney. They're going in.
Notch coming in with that ultimate, landing out on top of Russ and Beanhead. Ace still out of that ultimate, still out of that mirror ultimate. Don't know if they're going to be able to clean this up. Coming with that, the front line of Jamie, coming in on the back line, taking on Mud. Mudkelp completely defenseless. Jamie coming in with that black buff late into the team fight, hitting on this core. NA realizing what's happening and coming back onto Jamie, trying to finish him off. Jamie looks like he might be taken out here. Shane fighting very closely with him. Shane very low. Shane getting taken out. Rurikon trying desperately to get these heroes off of his core, but Ace just standing back there stoically, finishing off the core, and in the fashion they started this game, dominantly finishing the game. So, wonderfully played by EU.
Insane.
Ace, Beanhead playing fantastically, and Rurikon and Russ really coming into their own alongside Jamie later in the game.
Yeah. Ace, man, I gotta say,
MVP
wow.
for me.
Ending the game at 168 farm, 60 card points. The very next were Mud and Shane, respectively, but
11-1-11, 1-1-1-1-1.
Wow, wow,
that's
a lot of
That's
ones.
an impressive
That's a
score
barcode.
line. Yeah, that is a barcode.
That's a barcode. Man, I feel like we just have to go to replays for a lot of this because it just came down to very minor mistakes. And it wasn't even mistakes,
it's
really.
Subtle differences in how they reacted after team fights.
Yeah, I mean,
so after a successful NA team fight, EU was able to actually get more out of it.
Yeah.
So if you see EU here, this is shortly after Jamie got the kill. Jamie rotated over to middle lane, ended up getting that tower. And you see NA here making one of those great team fight decisions, taking out Rurikon, taking out Russ, getting that middle lane tower. But after this, we didn't see much of a push.
Right.
We didn't see much rotation. Like, yes, Notch did end up dying to the tower, but a little bit of a lack of rotation. Another great engage here onto Russ, trying to get that singular kill, but they didn't invest a lot of resources.
Right.
May not have had it for a later team fight. And
well.
and this was the fight into the area that was really NA's favor. But Ace did come away from this team fight with two free kills that he got out pretty scot-free with him. Honestly, they had kind of lost focus of him and wanted to finish off the team member they could confirm, but. NA did play to their strengths. I will give them that. I grant them that they understood where their strengths were. And here we have the wonderful steal by Notch. That's
Notch.
honestly
that was so dope.
Single-handedly for me was one of the greatest moments of this game. But EU showing their dominance, just cold calculating, taking out each member of NA that was there. And of course here, pushing in on the final inhibitor. Rurikon getting that ultimate, pushing Mud towards his team, finishing her off. Rurikon giving up his life for that tower, understanding it's for the greater good.
Yep.
All steals know that. All steals know that when they die, it's for the greater good.
It's for the greater good, and this is it.
You win the game,
push. You could tell they were trying to pad their score a little bit because there was like 25 minions, all 5 heroes were there. They were like, we're going to end this, but we want to kill you guys first before we do. So I got to say, man, overall, EU absolutely killed it. just showing some serious mechanical precision.
Yeah, I think that's what won them the game.
I think that is what won them the game, you know. But I mean, again, both teams played out of their mind. It was so close, neck and neck for so long.
Oh, 100%.
And then at one moment,
Boom.
Jamie was like, "Hey, I'm gonna split push." No, you fought. It's crazy. I'm gonna take an inhib though. So good luck. And then it just got worse.
And so valiant effort by both teams. Congrats to EU and Ace as MVP. But for now, we actually have an awesome.
No, we have to figure out is who died more.
Oh yes.
Mooney. Do we still have a scoreboard? Because we gotta know, did Shane respawn more or did Notch respawn more?
Shane at
Let's see. Let's take a look.
4 and Notch at 9.
Notch? What?
Oh, so it looks like we were wrong.
We were wrong.
I see.
So everyone in chat that voted against us, looks like you're gonna be winning yourself something nice. But
well, I mean, and if you signed up, you'll be getting something. You'll participation is what's great about this. You link your account, you link your Twitch account, your Epic account, watch the stream, hang out. You'll win some stuff.
And
but
11 rolls.
Oh, 11 rolls.
11 rolls.
Yeah.
That's that.
We get to 6 gates, 12.
Right?
We're
close. We're real close. Man, but it's honestly, it's awesome.
What a way to end the day.
I know.
And we have more fun for you to end the day. We have an awesome panel coming up here. KL Smith, Arctic will be back on with Steve Superville, our creative director. We're gonna go through some. We're gonna have some awesome talk-throughs. Wrap up the great open beta launch event we've had.
Yep.
A fantastic day of matches, and we are going to go to a break. When we come back, we'll have that panel for you.